We're back with Treasure Hunters Roadshow from Seattle, Washington.
Earlier this morning, we had a woman come into the show with an amazing item. We are trying to get as much information as we can on this item. We want it really bad, so we're going to do our best to buy it.
Tell me a little bit about your history with this guitar, where you come into the picture with this guitar.
My husband got the guitar prior to 1937. He took lessons and he graduated in 1937.
Did he play a lot in terms of was he in any bands or anything like that, or did he just play at home?
No, he just played at home.
Just played at home.
And he did get it out at our house after we were married, and he would play it and played on the back porch a little.
Mm-hmm. Very nice. And just judging by what I'm seeing, the condition of the guitar is really, really pristine. Now, the Dobro company came about after a split between George Beecham and a guy by the name of John Dalpiera. And John Dalpiera and George Beecham actually started a company called National. And they were famous for the steel body single tone resonator guitars, not so very different from this. At one point in time, John and George got into a big disagreement over money, and that's usually how it works. John decided that he would split off and come up with his own company, which led to Dobro. He went to both the wooden style and the metal style bodies with a triple cone as opposed to just a single cone. Now, they used resonators before there was electronic amplification. Okay, that's why a resonator is basically louder than a normal guitar. So the history on these is really very rich. A lot of them were played predominantly in the South in the honky-tonks and juke joints where there was always a lot of people, lots of partying, and the music wasn't nearly loud enough unless there was some kind of resonation. That's where the resonator really came into play. Now, I think I've got a couple of people that I believe are going to be really interested in this guitar, so if you give me a few minutes, I'll make a few phone calls, and we'll get back to you here.
Right? That sounds good, right?
Yes, it does.
You knew all that information about the Dobro?
I didn't know that all.
Yeah, me neither. That was impressive. That was impressive.
But I do want to add one comment. I like the music when it's softer. I don't like all these microphones with all that music. It's so loud. The pretty sound of the music is gone, the instrument.
Right,
It's better if it's quieter.
I like that you just want to just get that out there about music in general.
Right.
We're going to go listen to some soft music, Vivian and I are.
Good deal.
If you think you've seen unusual treasures, you haven't seen anything like this. Steve.
Hi.
How are you?
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. This place is pretty hard to find.
Yeah, I like to keep it secluded. You don't want the neighbors paying too much attention to it.
Yeah, well, good thing doesn't look like you're bringing attention to yourself.
No. But once you get into the yard here, you'll see that it's pretty dramatic.
Okay.
If there's anything that's glass or ceramic or whatever that won't fall apart in the weather, I can go ahead and put that stuff out in the yard. I have a lot of odd things in general in my house, around the yard and that sort of thing.
Do you want to show us inside?
Yeah. So I've taken the house and I've embellished it on the inside to where it's the ultimate Victorian, cluttered, decorated look. Except it's gone a little too far and I ran out of space a long time ago.
It looks like you got this well under control.
Yeah.
Steve, how did you start your collection?
When I was a child, I visited Ye Olde Curiosity Shop here in Seattle. At the time, they even had a bin full of human skulls that were $10 each, and my dad wouldn't buy me one. So I think maybe what you see here in my house might be sort of a reaction to being denied that initial human skull.
It's weird, it's wild, and really there are no words to describe it. So I'll let Steve do his best.
Two-headed animals and other things like that. I was going to have a proper mad scientist laboratory room. I'm here alone. It never seems this congested for some reason. Funeral instruments, they would pull the plunger back and they would snap it. And it has a bunch of sharp pins that would then poke you. For some reason, women always ask, how do you dust this place? I just tell people there's just a special protective coating on everything. Just kind of...
What is that coating called?
doesn't have a name.
And you and I have something in common. We're both single, handsome men.
There you go. So it's really difficult to find girls that would put up with this kind of clutter, though, at this point. So,
What are you talking about?
so
I think once the ladies see this, I think it's all going to change.
I think I've lost Andy.
When we come back, the moment we've all been waiting for. How much is it worth?